Welcome to the latest episode of the Leeds Rhinos Podcast. We're here at St James's Park for the Magic Weekend this weekend when the Rhinos take on St Helens in the final round on Saturday night. Delighted to be joined by our co-captain Cam Smith. Great to be back here at St James's Park, Cam.
Great to be back here, mate. Yeah, I'm missing Mikel and Anna from the lucky enough to come up and watch them play Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's awesome to be back here. What a stadium.
We were talking on the way up here. You were here for that Crystal Palace game. Palace had a penalty at this end. The noise you said with the mad Geordies going crazy was
yeah.
to behold.
Yeah, it was. It took me and Mick by surprise. Palace got a penalty at this end, and as he's stepping up to take the penalty, the stadium erupted, and it just made me think about coming and playing here in a couple of weeks. How loud it's going to be and how good the atmosphere is going to be. Before
we look ahead to Saturday's game, let's look back to the game against Hull. Frustrating loss in the end against them, but a great performance from the guys at AMT Headingley. Yeah,
a great performance. We've been there or thereabouts, haven't we, in a number of games this year, and we're pretty disappointed that we didn't come out with the win. But like you said, it was really promising, and I feel like we're definitely heading in the right direction.
The game itself. They had quite a bit of pressure early on, but we managed to see that out. We obviously had Jack gets sin-binned early on. We lost Hawley. Jake's off the field with a green card. Conceded that early try, but we really believed in ourselves and got back into it.
Yeah, we had a heap of adversity thrown at us, didn't we, to start the game? But we stuck in there and took a couple of chances. Thought Ash did incredibly well to put Riley away. Scored a great try, and Jake to come up with a little bit of magic and find a little kick through for Ash. So I think it's really promising, and like I said, I feel like we're moving in the right direction.
They go down to 12 men in that second half when Sue gets sent off. Did we really need to kick on at that point and try and win the game as opposed to hold on to the lead, or is it just not as simple as that?
No, I reckon, yeah. I think we could have maybe thrown the ball around a little bit more when they had 12, and but yeah, obviously it's easier said than done. I thought there were enough opportunities for us to come out on the right side of the result, but the cards were pretty significant in the game, weren't they? And I think we're pretty disappointed that we didn't come out with a win.
You mentioned the cards there, without going into the rights or wrongs around whether cards should be given not for certain offences. We are seeing in the game quite a bit now players who maybe feel like they've had a head knock going down and waiting to get that replay, to get the video referee involved. There was a bit of a row when Michael Lewis told his player to make sure he stayed down. A couple of weeks ago, we played at Warrington. Mark Sneed's giving the old imaginary yellow card for Keenan Palacia. As players, are you in a position now where if you feel that knock that you're having to draw the referee's attention to, or is it just what's happening out there?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's frustrating to see as a player. You want to, and as a spectator, you want to see a free-flowing, fast game, don't you? And any significant knock, surely the officials would pick up anyway. But these ones that we're getting that don't have any significance, and players are going down the route of trying to take it into their own hands. I just think it's not a great look for the game, and as we see on our game last week, that they can have pretty significant outcomes. So we don't promote it anyway, and I don't think as a game we should be promoting milking head collisions.
Talking about the game itself, a close loss against a team that's going to be up there challenging in the playoffs. Do you think that's one to put in the locker going forward? That when we get to the games that are deciding what those playoff positions are, or even a bit further down, hopefully in the playoffs, that we can draw inspiration from getting ourselves in these positions.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've competed with all the top teams this year, and it does certainly put you in good stead when it comes to the business end of the season, and we're playing in them important games. Ulk are flying at the minute, aren't they, at the top of the league, and the result could have gone either way. So we'll take a heap of confidence from that going forward, and it's certainly benefit from that later on in the year.
And it was a great atmosphere. It felt like the season had really arrived on Friday night. First of all, a Friday night game under the lights, Hull, two teams going at it, and they came over in fantastic numbers as well. Credit to the Hull fans who came over. They really made it a special night.
Yeah, I think it's getting better every week, isn't it, Headingley? And I felt like we got a little bit of taste of that when we beat Wigan at home, and then since then it seems to have gone up another gear. So I absolutely love playing in them Friday night games at Headingley. I don't think there's any better place to play, and credit to the fans for getting out in numbers from both teams, and the game rewarded them with an exciting experience.
Yeah, Hull KR fans certainly threw the gauntlet down to Hull FC. They're next in town, so let's see if the Black and Whites can beat the Red and Whites in terms of numbers and atmosphere at AMT Headingley. In terms of the team, obviously Ryan Hall got that injury early doors, but then Callum Watkins comes off the bench. I mean, I think he showed, not that anyone was doubting, but the versatility and the quality he's given the squad since arriving back from Salford. Yeah,
definitely. Cal's full of quality and experience, and I think just to have him on the bench to cover all them areas, he can play in any position really on the field. So he's brought that element of calmness as well as a leader, and I just think we're going to continue to see the quality that he'll bring throughout the rest of the year. But I thought he did an amazing job, coming in and filling the void when we lost Ryan early doors.
Looking ahead then to this week, it's the Magic Weekend up here at St James's Park. You are hoping to be involved. It's early in the week, so we don't know what the squad's going to be, but you're obviously recovering from that injury. In terms of your Magic memories, we were talking on the way up here, you've played in sixth and won 3, lost 3.
Yeah.
You produced a man of the match performance here against Cass at St James's Park. Good memories from the Magic?
Yeah, good memories. I look forward to these fixtures. I've grown up watching the game. I'm a student of the game, and I don't think there's many sports that showcase every team in one stadium. I'd normally look to see that we're playing Castleford, but obviously it's different this week. We're playing Saints. Heap of history behind both teams. It's really fitting that it's the last game on the Saturday, so hopefully the stadium will be packed out, and I know the lads will be really excited to play. I wish I were playing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming down.
And Saints, we obviously played them in a cup earlier in the season, and that was a tight game. Brad, when he spoke about after that game, talks about us just having a bad 8 minutes where we clocked off and they punished us. We're going to have to be on for the full 80 on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to have to be on. We'll speak about that during the week. I'm sure that there's been a number of games this year where we haven't quite concentrated for 80 minutes and put in a professional performance, so I'm sure that'll be the message this week, and the lads will be looking to do that.
In terms of Saints themselves, they've had a tough season by their high standards. What are you expecting from them on Saturday?
Just a real strong defensive mentality. Their forward pack's extremely good, and they've got some exciting players in the spine, and they're coming off the back of a defeat too, so they'll be wanting to put their best foot forward. So I'll be expecting a real exciting game.
And they've got some young players coming through that Paul Whelan seems to be putting his faith in terms of their performance. Does that make them a slightly unknown quantity? See what them young guys are going to do?
Yeah, definitely, and I feel like the younger guys want to come in and add their flair, so they stay in the team. So they've certainly got some exciting youngsters over there, and I'm sure they'll be coming to put a show on Saturday.
And Leeds v Saints on a big occasion like that. I mean, it's the first time we've met them at a Magic Weekend, but Leeds Saints in a big stadium is something that has plenty of history behind it.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, weren't we, about this packed out stadium almost gives it that playoff feel, and there's been numerous big games between the two clubs, so I'm hoping with it being the last game on the Saturday that it'll have that feel.
In terms of performances and things like that, build on Hull KR. We've had a couple of strong performances recently to really continue that and hopefully get the win.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a number of close games this year, and we just need to concentrate for that full 80 minutes, and I'm sure we'll come out on the right side of the result. We've had tons of good statistics around our game, and we've put ourselves in great stead to come out on the right side of the result. So I'm hoping that we're doing that on Saturday.
And talking about Magic memories, have you got one that stands out for you?
Maybe the game when we beat Hull FC in the Golden Point. I can't remember what year it was, but Cruz Lehman kicked the drop goal.
It seemed like about the 10th attempt at a drop goal.
Yeah, 10th attempt at the drop goal. Yeah, Cruz was playing it half.
Was it? can't remember if it was Richie Marlowe or Reece Martin, one of the two, tried to kick a drop goal whilst running.
Yeah, I think we had 3 guys that tried to have a crack. I'm sure I were next in line, but no, I didn't quite get a chance. But yeah, that'll be my favourite Magic Weekend memory.
Brilliant stuff. Well, great to catch up again. A special edition of the Leeds Rhinos podcast live here from St James's Park. We can't wait for you to see everyone here Saturday night. If you haven't got your ticket yet, make sure you do. Beer, get the sport. It's a fantastic occasion for the whole of Super League as we all celebrate together at St James's Park. It's going to be a great occasion. Please make sure that you subscribe to keep in touch with all things Leeds Rhinos on our YouTube channel, across wherever you get your normal podcast. Leave us a review so we can continue to spread the word about Leeds Rhinos and everything we love telling you about. We'll be back on Thursday with our Q&A edition, so get your questions in to info@therhinos.co.uk. Maybe it's a question about preparation for Magic Weekend or how we go about planning for a big occasion like this here at St James's Park. Whatever it is, send in your questions, we'll get you the answers. First of all, great to have Cam back with us. We can't wait to see you back out on the field.
Thank you, mate.
Skipper, and then we'll build towards a fantastic next part of the season. We can't wait for it. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.